friend. So you have just made your first purchase from Seint Beauty. Now what? Well, I have probably recommended to you either 2 brushes for being a new user, either the blush and bronzer or the 3D brush. For today's purpose, I'm going to show you the blush and bronzer, and it's pretty adaptable if you have the 3D brush as well. The only difference being with the 3D brush, you can really use the brush itself to apply the makeup. The blush and bronzer is more using the finger method and blending, although you could actually probably dip it in and do it as well with the dense end, but I am just going to do the finger method today. It's probably the most popular for my new users. So everybody's color match that I custom make them, it has a few variations. For sure, there is always a main highlight color. There's always a brightener, except if your main color is the lightest shade in our line, so then you would not have a brightener. Sometimes an illuminator, always a contour, and then sometimes a color corrector. Not everybody needs that, and always a lip and cheek, because it really just finishes everything off, and it's going to give you your lip color, your cheek color, and even an eye color possibly. So I'm going to just stick with the real basics today. Also, often the bronzer. It's not a necessity, but if you've decided that your main brush is going to be the blush and bronzer brush, then you might as well go ahead and get the bundle, or hopefully you've already done that if you're watching this and you've just got your makeup, because you're going to save like $15, and your tin is only going to be like whatever, like the little tin it comes in, instead of 20 is going to work out to 5 if you do the bundle. However, if you were not wanting the bronzer at this time, then I would probably have recommended to just go with the 3D brush, and then later get the bundle, and then you can have both brushes. Okay, so for me, I am going to do a little color correcting today. Often I recommend people the color Mango, depending on your main color. It's great for under eye circles and some redness and some acne, but also another great color I haven't really talked about much is Aspen Contour. Aspen is good for large pores. It can be good for redness. It's great for brown spot, like any aging spots or scarring. But I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit on my red areas here today. I'm even going to just try it under my eyes, just the teeniest bit. But mostly I just find that I'm kind of red in the cheeks, nose, and chin. So I kind of just like to tap that on, kind of let it sit for a second, maybe go do something else, because it just needs to kind of absorb in. And I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. I haven't talked about this much, especially when you're just getting started. You may not want to buy a lot of brushes, but our line brush is awesome for eyebrows. It's going to give you the small end here to apply, and there's the spoolie end. And if you're just getting your basic colors to start with, one thing that's really great is your contour color can also double as your eyebrow color. So again, what I love is our products do so many things. And I'm just going to use the color Astoria, and I'm just going to quickly line these out. There is another trick to placement, but I'm just trying to go real quick today. So there's that. Okay, nothing spectacular. Okay, I will just quickly show you the placement. So what I usually like to do is kind of go here, make a dot, go here, make a dot for my arch, and go here. Today I'm really just trying to eyeball it, kind of connect it there. You always want to start over here and end in the front so that it is the most natural. You can also use an eyeshadow color for your brushes. Of course, you can just use a brow pencil from any store, drugstore, higher end brow gels, pencils, whatever. I'm not an eyebrow expert, okay? But when you're just starting out, I mean, use what you have, right? If you have an old kind of a brush laying around that is like a brow brush, or a very small fine tipped brush, you could use that as well and just use that to fill it in until you can get another kind of brush or whatever you want to get. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help, or look up some other videos from some other artists. They do some fantastic tutorials, and I can always direct you to those as well. Okay, just a little something, brows filler face. Okay, so I've let that sit. You don't have to let it sit that long, but it's just something I like to do sometimes, and I'm just going to kind of tap it in with my brush here, the dense end. I don't know if that color really does anything for under my eyes. I just like to be honest with you. I was just trying that. I do find mango works better. I'm going to just try a little bit of mango. The great thing with our makeup is, like, you don't want to pile it on, but it is, sometimes it's a trial and error. But the key thing with our makeup is always to use the least amount possible. Blend it in. If you need more, you can add more and build it because it will absorb in. But you just want to really make sure that you use a small amount, blend, and then build. Okay, now, I thought I just might want a little bit more Aspen there. Just kind of helps cut down that redness a little bit. And then of course I'm going to put my main color on top. Okay, so now I'm going to do my contour. I'm going to stick with the same contour that I did my eyebrows. I'm going to use the color Astoria. And I'm just going to throw some dots on here. I'm just doing the good old, what we call the cheetah hack. Going under my jaw. A little bit under my lip here. And then for the cheekbone, you can feel where your cheekbone is, and typically before we would say go right underneath that, but the popular thing to do is to actually go right on the cheekbone, because it's not wrong to go under here, and that could totally work for you, and you have to just decide what works best for your face shape. But especially if you have mature skin, or any of the things, and you don't really have cheekbones, if you go, the higher you go, the more it's going to lift. I'm going to have to do one of those half-face tutorials one of these days where I do one way and one the other. You can just see such a difference. One doesn't necessarily look bad, but the other one just looks so much better. So that's kind of a neat thing. I'm going to have to try that. Okay, contour's done. You can do your nose. You can just take 2 fingers. Oop. I like to use a brush for this, but I'm trying to show you what you can do if you're just starting out here. You really want to make sure if you're going to do this, this is not a necessary step, okay, this is totally optional. On top of your nose with a small, you do not want the sides. It's going to widen your nose, and so then you might as well not do it in the first place because you're actually going to make your nose look wider, which is defeating the purpose. And then you just kind of want to do one across here so that it shortens everything a little bit. Okay, done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in my brightening color. I'm going to use the color Linen, which is the lightest shade in the deck here. Good old pasty winter white girl here. Just down the center of my face. Again, I'm going to use a very, very little bit. Now this part is, put a little bit there. So just what this is doing, this is creating the 3D. This is the areas that have a natural shadow. This is where it's a place that naturally would be bright, where the sun catches, and then I'm going to finish off with the main color, and it's going to just create this 3D effect. This is the darkest part of our face. We don't want to go under the eye as previously thought, because stuff can settle in there and actually just draw more attention, and we want to go here because this creates a lift. Again, a lift and a brightening. Okay, you can see how bright that is right there. I'm going to go into my main color, which is going to be today, I think, Aura. Sometimes it's amber if I want to be a little bit darker, but I just bronze out my neck. But I'm just, the tail end of winter here is just making me so incredibly, I'm just so pale. Okay, can't wait to move up in color. Okay, that's it. Like a few dots, right? Like you use so little product this way as well, so you can see that already, like I know this looks weird, but I'm just gonna put, okay, but it's all gonna come together, I promise. So I like to start, so I'm gonna use the small end here, and I like to start with the light end, or with the lightest shades, I should say. You can dab, swirl, or tap, whatever you want to do. If you have a lot of saggy or wrinkly skin, you're going to want to do more dabbing. It's going to help everything go where it should. Okay. Now, you could start with the darker areas. I just prefer to do it this way. I don't want to end up dragging light or dark colors, sorry, onto my light areas. Really, I'm gonna say it doesn't really matter, because this makeup is really, these brushes rather, are really designed to push the makeup into your skin, and they don't stay on the brushes. We do have a little tile cleaner where you can just sort of quickly, if you get too much on, you can rub off excess in between, which is a super handy little tool if you're ever looking for something. If you can add on an extra thing in your cart. But and the other thing is, of course, our brush cleaner, which is amazing. It's a dry brush cleaner. It'll take everything off. Okay. Sometimes in these finer areas, I like to just go more of a dab. I'm also going to just throw a little bit on my eyes. I'm not doing eyeshadow for the purpose of this video, because this is just a beginner basic foundation video, just to show you again how your products can do double duty. You could take either your main or your brightener. I'm choosing to use my brightener because I want to brighten. I am going to put on eyeshadow later. This is going to give me a really nice neutral base, because I do have quite pigmented dark pigment in my eyelids, on my eyelids. Okay, so now I'm going to do the darker areas. If you find that you don't have enough contour, it's not creating enough of a sculpt or definition, again, you can add more, but please start off with less. You're going to be less frustrated. If your makeup is cake, your makeup should not cake. If your makeup is caking, it's either one of two reasons. You've got color matched the wrong color, and it's just showing texture. But mostly caking means you have put too much on. And that's where this little perfector sponge comes in, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Okay, so if in your color match, I have recommended, again, the basics. Your contour, your two highlights, a corrector if you need it, and a lip and cheek. And then I'll list, and then of course I always recommend the extras like Illuminator, bronzer, skincare, cleanser, whatever. Now this though really should be, if you can afford it, please try to put this on your first order. If you can afford it, I would recommend just go to Walmart or Winners, get a cheap one, just get a cheap beauty blender, because this is really going to help you. It is so common, more common than not, to put too much makeup on. I did too when you're first starting with this makeup, because it's so different. We're used to having to put more on for coverage, but you don't need to, but it's going to happen. And it's an easy, you don't have to, you know, with other makeup you probably have to wipe it all off, but with this makeup it will absorb and it will push into your skin. So what this blender does is you soak it. This is actually double the size of it right now. You completely soak it, completely. You wring it all the way out and wring it once more in a towel, and you've got the perfect damp dry combo. And what that combo will do, when it's just the right consistency, is it will push in and blend the makeup that's supposed to be there, and magically it'll take away what shouldn't be there. Now I like sometimes maybe to have a little bit more definition, so I could go in and add more, but actually I'm okay with that today. I am just feeling super pale, so the next thing I want to show you is, oh no, I'm going to do the lip and cheek, and then I'll show you the bronzer. So today I'm going to use the color, I think I'm going to use pink grapefruit today. It's a super bright color. Our colors are so pigmented, you guys. Your lip and cheek is going to last you probably well over a year. You can dip it with the brush. When I have a really bright color, I like to usually put it on with my finger. And this whole video has been putting things on with the finger, so I'm just going to do that as well. How pretty is that? And then I'm just going to throw some my lips. You'll notice I did contour under here. That just creates another shadow, kind of helps with the fuller lip. You can also use your contour to line your lips. I'm assuming with your first order you might not have a brush to do that. The multitasker is another one I would recommend if you do want one more thing in your order. If you're getting any eyeshadows, you can only get one brush. Well, if you're doing eyeshadows, I would recommend the eyeshadow brush for sure. And actually you can use this to lip line. So I would actually do this, but sorry. The multitasker can do a lot of things because you can line, you can use this as an eyeliner with your eyeshadows, but you can with the other brush as well. You can do more detailed work with your eyes, and you can use this to apply your lip color if you don't like using your finger. So I just want you to know that all those options are there, and I'm happy to answer any questions. For you and help you get the right look. Okay, bronzer. Okay, again, get it in the bundle. Another hack is using it with the Glow Illuminator. And then swirling them together just gives a really amazing glow, but you don't have to do that. That's an extra thing. Either way, it's going to be amazing, and it really is going to help because our necks, it's going to help with your color blending because our necks are always lighter than the rest of our faces. Some people's are an extreme. Also, as you can see, this is a super light area because it hasn't seen the sun in like half a year. So I'm just actually starting down here, and then I'm just gonna hit the highest points of my face where the sun hits. Again, if you're just starting out, you can just skip this all together. I just want you to know, again, if you're ordering this brush, then you're probably gonna get the bundle, which means you're gonna have the bronzer, and I want you to know how you can use it. Again, I just love that all of our products are so multi-purpose. Okay, so let's say you get this bundle, you're basically getting the bronzer for $5. Okay, this bronzer, especially if you can't, like, I would so recommend going this route with the bronzer if you love, like, if you love this look, because look at how much warmer my face is already. Okay, now what I also love, this can be lip color, it can be an eye color. So seriously, if you can't afford eyeshadow, you've got something else. If you did happen to want to get the Glow Illuminator to use with it to get that lovely glow when you swirl it together, also you can get more use out of the glow. The glow isn't going to be your illuminator that you're going to want to use up here because unless you have darker skin, then it's amazing. If you have lighter skin, it's going to be too dark, but you can use it as a in the middle of, after you put this on as a lip color, you can use this in the center. You can use this on your eyelid and use the bronzer in here. I have another video on that somewhere, but yeah. Okay, one more thing, if you want a different illuminator, again, this is like an extra thing, or if maybe you don't need the color correcting and you have room in your basic kit for your first purchase, I would recommend going with the, or if you just can't afford it, go for it. These are the things we love to have. So I would recommend Angel Illuminator. It's a cream illuminator. It looks great on everyone, as does Rose Gold and Pearl, which I am out of, and I'm waiting for it to come back in stock. Or I mean, I'm waiting for it to arrive. You can put some over here, and you can also throw a little bit under your brow bone. Okay, so that is really it. You could also take another use for your illuminator, like I said, with the glow, but you can do it with this one. I'm going to do it with Pink on Pink today. The pink grapefruit that I put on is a satin, so it's more of a matte finish. So if I want to have that little bit of shimmer, I have an illuminator in my palette, and I've just created another look. So good. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to help you every step of the way with whatever your custom color matches. I can make a video just for you if you like as well. So thanks for watching.